Mr. Speaker, I don't know about deflation and costs coming down. All I can tell you is that the inflation rate itself was 2.7% in the most recent read year over year versus it got to a high of 9% under Biden. Stocks are at record highs. Unemployment is 4.2%. That's full employment. The GDP was 3%. The border is actually secure. We've got trade deals with EU, Japan, many more in the works, and trillions of dollars of foreign investment coming here. Iran's nuclear ambitions have been set back indefinitely. And I just wrote down a few things. So I just have to ask you, where is the calamity that you're talking about? And it almost seems like for Democrats, socialism is the answer to these problems. Or, I don't know,
socialist, communist,
democracy or something. We just don't get it.
Our sweet apple pie democracy, our democracy. Oh, this is good. Getting called out. They called his butt out. Yeah, your fear-mongering, your gaslighting, your misinformation, your lies, your Trump Derangement Syndrome. Trump. You said you came on here live on television and fear-mongered the American people. You said the same script every single time. And that everything would burn and crash. That Trump is destroying the country. And that y'all are fighting for the American people. That y'all care for the community, the kids, the economy, you've been saying the same thing over and over and over and haven't done anything. You didn't do anything, especially the last 4 years. They just called Joe Butt out. This is good. Oh, this is good. This was good. What? Look, and he just stuck. Lying dog. You lying, scamming dog. Got all that Diddy all on his forehead.
Who is genuinely titling themselves a socialist, and you're saying that you might ultimately support them. And so I'm trying to understand the distinction here.
No. I'm trying to understand why you would spend a significant amount of time asking me about the Democratic nominee who's not even the mayor, and it's not a legitimate point to raise about a president who is regularly attacking the free market economy, bullying corporations, bullying universities, bullying law firms. He just recently called upon the CEO of Goldman Sachs to fire their chief economist. That's not problematic.
This is good, boy. I tell you, this is good.
Want to really see something that said, take a look at what happened.
Hey. Why this beat so cold?
We will make America proud again. When you try to kill our we will make America wealthy again. And yes, together, we will make America great again.
Boy, oh boy, oh boy. You just can't make this up, man. And as you go on the internet, you see this interview that Hakeem Jeffries went and did with CNBC. You know, they got NBC, MSNBC, CBNBC, just all kind of crap. The alphabet news, you know, fake news media. That's what they run to every single time. The CNNs, the MSNBCs, and they go on here and just rage quit, get meltdown, breakdown, you know, a complete disaster, lie, gaslight, fear mongering. They run off the exact same script. They've been saying the same thing for years and years and years. In the last couple of months, they say the same thing when they get live on TV off the same script. Trump. It's all Trump's fault. They get on here and just doodle on themselves. I'm telling you. And now people are pissed off. Even Democrats are calling out, you know, Hakeem Jeffrey. I tell you, you go all through the internet and look, people are just calling him out. They're calling out this recent interview they did on CNBC. I'm sick of all this CBN crap. CNBC. We finna show the full interview. We're gonna get into it. You know, and look, coming out against the crime in DC. He the one that says, you know, crime is in DC. Trump is doing a power grab. Or look, you know, and as somebody just passed away a couple of hours ago and got shot in D.C. You know, I tell you, you just can't make this up. You got your DEI chief. She don't know what the chain of command, nothing. I tell you, you just can't make it up.
I stand with the people of Washington, D.C. I stand with Mayor Bowser, and we are strongly supporting their efforts to stop this scheme to take over the police department in the District of Columbia, which is nothing more than an illegitimate power grab.
The exact same script. He's off a script. Look, off a script, look.
I stand with the people of Washington, D.C. I stand with Mayor Bowser.
They get in front of this little camera, this little tripod they done set up, and it's off the exact same script. You just can't make this up, man. But let's get into this interview everybody's calling him out on.
Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries, there is so much to talk to you about this morning, about everything that's going on in Washington, about the BLS, the Fed.
And y'all don't come in here calling him Dollar Store Obama, Timu, but do not come in here disrespecting my dollar store. We love our dollar store. You know, I really think we step down to a low level when we call him Dollar Store Obama. He's worse than that. And I think the dollar store is one of the best things we have over here, especially being in the country where I'm at. That dollar store 5 minutes from the house, and they got everything, the good name brands, the good cleaning supplies. They got some good stuff in that dollar store. That dollar store has become my best friend. So we're not going to disrespect Dollar General, 99 cents, what's the other one called? Family Dollar. We're not going to disrespect the dollar store. I tell you that right now. Calling him Dollar Store Obama. Hell no. He needs another nickname. Got all this Diddy all on his forehead, I tell you.
About NVIDIA, Democratic Party, but I want to start with this. And by the way, mea culpa on me too, but I'm curious where you land. For the last several months, the Democratic Party, for the most part, has been publicly suggesting that because of these tariffs, that the economy was going to falter, that there was going to be a massive recession. And
I love how he starts the interview off and calls his and just calling them out. This is lately, I'm telling you, the fake news media, the MSNBCs, the CNBC, lately the way they've been with these follow-up questions with actual journalism, I'm telling you, lately they've been on point, family. I gotta admit it. I gotta give a little bit of credit. Lately, the media, the fake news media, the legacy media, they've been bringing these Democrats on. They've been on point. And this is why so many people are really, really waking up right now. You know, they're tired of the same messaging. They're tired of the Trump. They have that messaging does not work. So I love how he's starting this interview off and he already calling his butt out when it comes to his party. This is good.
And for whatever reason, that has not happened. And I'm curious why you think that hasn't happened and whether you think it was a mistake to be as critical as you have been.
He just got called out for gaslighting, fear-mongering the American people. This is beautiful, man. This is how we started off.
Well, good morning. Great to be with you. Donald Trump promised on day one that costs were going to go down. Costs haven't gone down. They've gone up. What we have seen, in fact, is job creation go down almost to record low levels. And so there is reason to believe that the economy is not moving in the right direction. The erratic tariff policies have created a great deal of uncertainty in the business environment. Uncertainty, of course, doesn't allow for the type of explosive economic growth that we will all like to see here in the United States of America. I think there's no real basis to conclude that Donald Trump has been successful, particularly as it relates to the core issue of driving down the high cost of living in the United States of America, which is too high, which was his fundamental promise to the American people. Costs aren't going down, they're going up.
But are you surprised? I'm just asking, just as a person, are you surprised that the tariffs haven't had a bigger impact on prices, for example?
I think it remains to be seen where this is headed.
What a follow-up.
I'm deeply concerned that the tariffs are going to exacerbate the inflationary challenges that we already have in the United States.
They just want everything to, like, he basically just admitted, we just want everything to burn and crash and tank. So we can blame the big bad orange man. And this guy, he's like, well, you know, it just hasn't happened. You know, and we've seen Democrats come out and say, man, I was wrong about Trump. Even voters, the American people say, we were wrong about Trump. Democrats. So look.
States of America, the affordability issues that we have in the United States of America, particularly as it relates to consumer goods and consumer goods that are going to be important to the American people as folks prepare to send their children back to school.
I guess, Mr. Speaker, I don't know about deflation and costs coming down. All I can tell you is that the inflation rate itself was 2.7% in the most recent read year over year versus it got to a high of 9% under Biden. Stocks are at record highs. Unemployment is 4.2%. That's full employment. The GDP was 3%. The border is actually secure. We've got trade deals with EU, Japan, many more in the works, and trillions of dollars of foreign investment coming here. Iran's nuclear ambitions have been set back indefinitely. And I just wrote down a few things. So I just have to ask you, where is the calamity that you're talking about? And it almost seems like for Democrats, socialism is the answer to these problems. Or, I don't know, an end of democracy or something? We just don't get it.
Look at him. He's stuck. He is stuck. Man, let's clap it up, y'all. This is what we need. Especially when it comes to you Democrats getting up here with all this fear-mongering, all this lying. You know, Trump is all going to burn and crash and tank. You know, and then we actually pull out the data. We actually pull out some stats. You know, now we've seen some stats being manipulated. We've seen some kind of, you know, rigged up junk, and come to find out, you know, what's done in the dark must come to the light. But when you actually pull out some truthful stats, look at him, stuck in the mud. All that fear mongering, all that gaslighting, throwing it out in the middle of the street, huh?
Well, actually, I'll tell you what we stand for, Joe. It's pretty clear. As Democrats, we believe in a strong floor and no ceiling. Look, in America, you work hard, you play by the rules. You should be able to live the good life. And there should be no ceiling on your success, on your capacity to do anything in the United States of America. That's the great promise of this country. At the same period of time, there should be a strong floor. Today is the 90th anniversary of Social Security. It was born 90 years ago today. What we've seen from this administration is an attack on Social Security, an attack on Medicare, an attack on the Affordable Care Act, ripping Medicaid away from millions of Americans. That actually is the type of strong floor that we should also have.
Another lie, another lie, another lie, another lie. You know, and then it's the same repeated scripted lie. The same repeated scripted lie. That's what I
have in this country. You pass one big ugly bill that's now law.
Here goes the big ugly bill script. You know, he got to mention this. He said this in every interview he's done in the last 3 months. The same thing.
A partisan basis that represents the largest attack on health care in American history. Hospitals will close. Nursing homes will shut down. Community-based health clinics will be unable to operate. People all across the country are going to experience increased premiums, co-pays, and prescription drug prices. That's a problem for everyday Americans. I'm not talking about people who are already wealthy and well-off and well-connected. I'm talking about the everyday Americans that I represent in Brooklyn and that we're fighting hard for. In fact, those same Americans, food is being ripped out of the mouths of hungry children, veterans, and seniors with the largest attack on nutritional assistance in American history. I find that problematic in the United States of America,
This
and millions of people do so.
Lying ass dog.
Leader, where do you land on this mayoral race in New York, and in particular on Mondani, who is clearly now the front runner in this situation, won the primary? You have not publicly come out endorsed him yet, and I'm curious what you're thinking.
Well, he ran a strong race in the primary, obviously, relentlessly focused on affordability, which is a big problem, of course, here in New York City, along with every other part of the United States of America. And he outworked the opposition. He outmessaged the opposition and outorganized the opposition. But now during the general election, of course, he's going to have to demonstrate to a broader electorate, including in many of the neighborhoods that I represent in Brooklyn, that his ideas can actually be put into reality. And that's, the conversation that he's having with me and having with people who are community leaders and residents in the 8th Congressional District I serve.
And that sounds like you're not convinced then yet.
No, well, we had one initial conversation. It was a constructive and candid conversation. It was centered around the community. And in that conversation, he indicated he'd like my help in putting together additional meetings with members of the congressional delegation, as well as leaders in many of the communities that I represent in neighborhoods like East New York and Brownsville, Canarsie, some of the more lower income working class neighborhoods that I may serve. I agreed to do that. That meeting is being put into motion right now.
How do you think about him relative to Cuomo? And how do you think about the message of socialism or being a socialist and what that may portend for the Democratic Party?
Well, I think, as I indicated, listen, my view about what we as Democrats stand for, what we're fighting for, we need to lower the high cost of living in the United States of America. We need to fix our broken healthcare system. And we need to clean up corruption in Washington, D.C., so we actually have a government that works for the American people, for everyday Americans,
Oh, really?
for hardworking American taxpayers, as opposed to working for the privileged few. That's what that one big ugly bill was about. Cut health care, devastate nutritional assistance.
Lie, 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 lie. Script, 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 script. Completely useless, man. I really feel like I'm wasting my time with this crap plan, man. It's the same stuff.
Reward Republican billionaire donors with massive tax breaks.
Trump and his billionaire buddies. Same exact script like I've been telling y'all, man. The same exact script.
That's not us as Democrats. Here in this country, work hard, play by the rules. You should be able to afford to live the good life. Good paying job, good housing, good health care.
How long y'all been saying that?
For your children,
How long y'all been saying that?
Right.
And a good retirement, which, by the way, means protect Social Security and Medicare because they are earned benefits, not entitlement programs. Don't try to devastate them.
I understand that.
Which is
I'm
what
just
the
curious
Republican plan is right now.
I'm curious where you land on things like, freezing rent, free buses, giving away, free food at supermarkets and the like, and what you just think of that idea and what it represents.
Listen, Zoran is going to have to make the case to the people of New York City, including in the neighborhoods that I represent, that these ideas, which are designed to address affordability in New York City, and that as a top-line effort is important. The cost of living is the number one issue here in the city, number one issue across the country. It's why Donald Trump's poll numbers are in the basement right now.
But do you agree with those approaches as a solution? Look, you and I agree. Affordability is this number one issue in New York. It's the number one issue in the country. And so he has done a great job of identifying that issue and articulating that issue. The question is how you attack that issue. And what I'm asking you is whether you agree with the solutions that he's offering.
Here's what my solution would be. And I've said this directly to him and will continue to say it to policymakers across the city, the state, and the country. We have a situation in New York City and across America where the demand for housing that is affordable greatly exceeds the supply. That's a problem. That imbalance is jamming people up, working class residents, moderate income residents, middle class residents. In New York City, if you're a police officer married to a nurse, you can't even afford to purchase a home in this city. That's problematic. So we have to build our way out of this problem. That's all hands on deck. That's city, that's state, that's federal. That also means a meaningful partnership with the private sector. That has always been my position. That will continue to be my position because it's the right position for the people that I serve.
Andrew Cuomo has made the point that Zoran Mandami lives in a rent-controlled apartment, even though he is not considered, quote unquote, poor, and that Andrew Cuomo would actually try to create a law in the state that would prevent people like Mandami from living in a rent-controlled apartment. Do you think that he should live in a rent-controlled apartment?
Well, listen, that's an issue for the state legislators and the state government to work out.
Oh, no, but it's a fascinating issue about affordability in this city and whether there are folks who are living in rent-controlled apartments all across this city that effectively should be going towards poor people who need that affordability.
It's a legitimate issue that has been raised, and the Mandami campaign is going to have to address it.
Talking about issues that folks are going to have to address, what do you think of the president's decision to replace the BLS director in terms of this new person who's just been put into this role?
I think it's a disgrace, but it's part of a consistent pattern that the Trump administration has attacked the free enterprise system here in the United States of America. The Trump administration has unleashed the largest pay-to-play scheme in modern American history, and everybody in corporate America knows it. Everyone in Washington, D.C. knows it. Is that not an attack on a free market-based economy here in the United States of America?
This is just sad, man.
To me, that it actually is. That's problematic.
Right, but here's the thing: you're talking about a free market. This is why I wanted to go there, because there's sort of you're talking about a free market on one side and being an advocate for a free market on one side, but at the same time, we just had a whole conversation about an individual who is running for mayor in New York City who is genuinely titling themselves a socialist. And you're saying that you might ultimately support them.
Look at the raging. He rage quitting. This is it. I want to give a huge shout out to CNBC. This is good. Y'all called this butt out. Then y'all started the interview off calling this butt out. And then you called out the gaslighting, the fear-mongering that they always come on here and do, and the propaganda, the same lies that they always spread. I approve of this interview. Some of y'all might not approve because I know how y'all feel about the fake news, legacy media, but I can approve of this.
I understand the distinction here.
No. I'm trying to understand why you would spend a significant amount of time asking me about the Democratic nominee who's not even the mayor, and it's not a legitimate point to raise about a president who is regularly attacking the free market economy, bullying corporations, bullying universities, bullying law firms. He just recently called upon the CEO of Goldman Sachs to fire their chief economist. That's not problematic. He's the leader of the free world, the president of the United States of America. He's in office right now, and he's attacking the market-based economy. Now, I said...
Yeah, good. We approve of what Trump's doing. The American people approve of what Trump's doing. A lot of people love what President Trump is doing right now.
I
don't disagree with you at all. And I don't love those attacks, but I will say, just in fairness, and I wonder whether you think that they're the same or they're not the same. There have been people that have criticized Elizabeth Warren for years for individually attacking and going after and naming specific CEOs in America, specific companies in America, over again and over again. President Biden famously didn't invite Elon Musk to the White House, probably caused him to actually support this president originally. And so the question is, whether those are the same or they're different.
It's interesting that we're talking about Joe Biden, no longer the president, Elizabeth Warren, who's a senator, as opposed to Donald Trump, the president of the United States of America, his administration, as well as complete control of government in Washington, D.C., the House and the Senate. That's the problem that we are confronting right now. And our challenge is to actually make sure that we are addressing the issues of significance to the American people. And the number one issue is the high cost of living that they failed to address.
Final question. I think there are a lot of Republicans who actually agree that there are certain things this president does that they don't like, but they're unwilling to stand up and raise their hand and say something about it. Why do you think that is?
I don't even know why we even asked him this question.
I mean, we're dealing with a cult-like situation.
Look, cult. Yeah. This is where, this is kind of where it kind of did. The fake news media kind of just throws it. We don't even got to hear the rest of this crap. Y'all let me know what y'all think, man. But I love how they called his butt out and again pointed out the obvious. And even just from the start of this interview, you just can't make this up, man. But it just gets worse and worse and worse for Democrats. And as you can see, same script, the same lies, misinformation, the same fear-mongering propaganda. Continue to dig the hole even deeper, Democrats. Keep sending his butt out there, your leader, your so-called leader. Won't end well for you. Good luck.